In the heart of Chennai sits a 150-year-old biological museum housing thousands of historical specimens gathered over generations. Deep inside its restricted halls, there is a specific cabinet displaying the anatomy of the human nervous system. According to the museum's official, tightly controlled inventory, this shelf contains exactly 11 human brains, preserved in formalin jars. Today, there are 12. A fresh, organic mass hangs in the fluid, traces of blood still clinging to the tissue. Taped to the glass is a handwritten label bearing 2 words, Seventh Sense. This placement is entirely deliberate. Whoever deposited this specimen bypassed security to plant their trophy inside a sanctuary of science, turning a quiet archival exhibit into a brazen taunt. To catch the culprit, Detective Avek turns to the bedrock of modern criminal investigation, hard forensic science. He orders an autopsy and advanced biopsies to identify the victim. Forensic science immediately hits a wall. The initial medical examiner's report identifies the brain as belonging to a middle-aged male, killed roughly 40 hours ago. But an advanced biopsy from an elite biometrics lab returns data showing the tissue belongs to a female who died of a heart attack 5 years earlier. While the data contradicts itself, the killer begins a campaign of psychological warfare. They send the detective untraceable text messages featuring cryptic 5-line poems that accurately detail the investigation's dead ends exactly as they happen. The police are entirely blind. Traditional logic has fractured, and the physical evidence they rely on has become a labyrinth designed to mock them. Across the city, a simultaneous crisis is unfolding. Authorities have captured Paramasiva Kurukul, an extremist posing as a local priest who has already detonated 3 catastrophic explosives in crowded public spaces. The threat is still active. Intelligence confirms there are more undetonated bombs hidden across the grid, and the police need Kurukul to give up the locations immediately. But inside the interrogation room, the suspect defies basic biology. Brutal physical pressure and severe pain tactics yield absolutely nothing. He simply sits there, absorbing the impact with an unnerving, silent smile. He has trained his body to sever its connection to Tain. For all practical purposes, his mind is sealed inside an impenetrable vault. Medical experts suspect this resistance comes from a prolonged regimen of advanced pain-tolerance pharmaceuticals, or perhaps deep psychological conditioning that completely nullifies physical suffering. Both of the city's active crises share the same terrifying trait. Just as the physical evidence in the museum case contradicts itself and fails, the terrorist's physical body refuses to break. This leaves the authorities at a desperate impasse. When physical force bounces off a suspect and physical science cannot explain a murder, the state is forced to cross a dark ethical line to extract the truth. The police abandon the physical interrogation room entirely. They transport the suspect to an undisclosed medical facility and administer heavy sedatives. As the drugs take hold, the suspect believes he has won. He lets go of his rigid defenses, retreating into the untouchable safety of his phone's sleep. The state relies on Arukani, a 20-year-old civilian with a highly classified documented telepathic anomaly, a project known only as Seventh Sense. Doctors connect the sleeping terrorist and Arukani to neural sensors, forcing a bridge between their brainwaves. Arukani crosses that bridge. She steps into his subconscious, sifting through his darkest memories to extract bomb locations, while he rests entirely unaware. The implications of this tactic are staggering. The authorities have found a backdoor around human endurance and legal rights, treating the private sanctuary of the human mind as a public database. The narrative now presents 2 distinct horrors. On one side, a killer leaves loud, macabre trophies in a museum to spread panic. On the other, the state executes a silent, unseen violation of a person's subconscious. A person can brace against physical torture. They train their body to withstand beatings or starvation. That you cannot fight an intruder you don't even know is inside you. In this scenario, the last remaining fortress of personal privacy has fallen. Even the quiet isolation of your own mind is compromised. A monster stealing a physical brain from a museum is a visible threat, but the deepest dread comes from the realization that someone could be sitting quietly right next to you, watching the world through your own eyes.